Okay, stream still good? Alright, cool. Let's try this again. Okay. So for the courting, basically people will flat mark your main handler / guy who hucks, and that opens up break side cuts. And that's basically what I want to see. And you can kind of tell, right? So Chase gets a disc, and he's just flat marking. And then Camp gets a disc, and it's normal flick force. And then Ben gets a disc, and it's a normal flick force. So there's the evidence of that. Just some small thing to note. And I also really like what the wings did here. Is they're just kind of chilling. And letting the poppers work. I.e. the most experienced players, so Camp and Ben. That was good. 719. Okay, we're going to look at Gavin's cut here. That was my note. Okay. Yeah, so what I want to see here is Camp gets it, Ben goes under, Ben gets it, and oh, I guess Camp was getting out. Okay. I think this was good by Camp. So this cut right here, like just coming across as the break side wing, is probably the most like efficient cut, because everything that comes from this side takes too long unless you're really fast. And I try to kind of enforce that or encourage that by telling the wings to basically only slash. Like that was really the only cut they ever were told to do, but it works really well because you slash and then you get a break side bump, and then we get this play. It doesn't work, but this is like, I think this should be like our core offensive strategy, is you can work it through like the poppers a bit. But poppers, they generally don't want to be throwing. So we booty dump, break side wing slashes, right? Because again, the break side wing defender is usually playing on top. He slashes toward the middle, gets a free under, and then this guy, especially if he's lazy, Chase will just run up the break side because he has to position himself 3 or 5 yards up anyways. So he should never be hanging back here, because if he does hang back here, he gets in the way of the booty dump. So Chase needs to be hauling ass to set up here, but when he's setting up, like if he beats his guy, then just give it to him. Ben, I'm about to say that you did something really well, right? And so Ben sees Chase get it, and he just goes, and he puts his body on the line. That was really good. Like this, like we should, if we're scrimming and Chase gets a break side like bump and no one cuts deep, I think everyone should just stop the scrimming and run, because you're literally wasting talent if you're not running this. So wings slash, and then the people over here who are chilling, because so if you're on this side, this third of the field, right, and that's why it worked really well. The disc was kind of on this side, so Camp is the closest one to disc, so he should go. That sets up for him to get in the middle. That opens up all this area for the break side bump, right? And so as the cutter's over here, if you're not doing anything, you need to be looking at the disc, at the play developing, right? Because you need to see who gets the ball, right? So good on Ben for doing that, because you can see Ben was always looking. Right, he clears, and then he starts looking. He's just figuring shit out, and he sees that and he goes. So that's really good. So also, if you cut deep, actually cut deep and don't just jog deep. Also, oh my god, this guy. Never seen legs that big. Anyways, okay, so here's an example of defense, and this is actually really interesting, right? So I've been kind of ragging on 50-50 because I think the game in general is too dynamic for you to ever be set up like that, but this is literally 50-50, right? And the unfortunate part here is Salsa kind of does the thing that he practiced not to do, supposedly, right? So he lines up to take under and then gets blown past on the inside shoulder. And that's unfortunate, right? Because if you're gonna line up under someone, then at least take away the under, right? Because he's already positioned to get beat deep. Ben, you can correct me. Is this the right foot positioning, like inside shoulder back, or is it the other way? Do you know? I always forget. Yeah. Or just the general, what is the correct like foot positioning? Is it inside shoulder back or inside shoulder forward? Okay. So yeah, Salsa's not positioned correctly, and also want to point out how this guy actually makes the cut. And let me see if slow it down a bit because I think this could be really helpful for y'all. Display at 0.5. You see how he jabs upline and he gets Salsa to kind of break his stance. But the jab not only makes a feint toward the direction he's not going, but also lets him load his leg. And that's how he's able to get past Salsa so quickly. So good cutting mechanics. Again, like if you need more of a buffer, then give yourself a buffer because right now you're not taking away anything. So that was an interesting point of defense. Yeah, it was that first game. Yeah, I don't know if... Sorry. No, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, like, we made a lot of mistakes and turns, but they also made a lot of mistakes and like wasted a lot of opportunities to punish. So just want to say that like the gap really isn't that big. It's just execution. Okay. 8:30. The wings flashes. The popper goes straight deep. Okay. Okay. So, and we're going to work on this more. And I recognize there was a problem, and that's why we changed our warm-up. But like static start offense on a sideline is challenging, right? And so this is flat side or break side, I guess, right? Mark is flat. What I want to see is Gavin start over here. He started like here, which I guess in the end doesn't really matter that much. But what I would have liked to see is him start here. And then time his cut so that right when Chase taps it in, he's in stride in this space so he can center, right? Because remember, the goal of the slash cut is to get the disc and more to the center of the field. And then let's see Salsa's cut. Salsa kind of goes like straight under. And so good orbiting by this guy. Right, he knows that the disc is all the way over here. He doesn't need to be on this side of Salsa. Usually you would in a flick force, but it's good orbiting by him. He stays between Salsa and the disc, and notice how Salsa doesn't like drive him anywhere. Like he like jab steps deep and then just runs straight and gets no separation. What I think might work better is either this popper just goes deep and then gives more space for this guy, to work, or salsa drives at the mark and then at an angle and then runs straight across parallel to the end zone line into this open space. And I think that would have been a better cut instead of just running straight here, which is harder to get separation on. 8:45. We can just watch this. Yeah, nothing happens. Nice. Okay, so here, I want camp to go here. I don't think this is Gavin's cut. For two reasons. One, he's really far away from the disc. And two, he's just not fast enough, right? So if y'all take a look at the notes, I linked, actually I'm going to show this because I think this is worth showing. So here's the same play, right? So to recap, this play is the disc swings to break side and you're basically still in a hoe stack. So what's the correct, like whose cut is it? So let's watch. Pull, Axel catches it, gives it Shelly in the middle. They're flat marking Shelly, so, again, pretty good example of how your shooter will get flat marked. Shelly swings to break side. Let's see what happens. So Dave gets it. I don't know if y'all know Dave, but he's like a small, quick guy, right? So he gets free unders all day. And you say, well, this goes against what you prescribe. It does, but I think it's also important to take into account context. So like for y'all, I would say I don't want this cut coming because it's just going to take too long. And that's what happened here. Like Gavin just takes too long to get to the space. I think it's like stall 3 or stall 4. By the time he's in a position to be hit. But Dave is faster and has better cut timing, right? Because he's a more experienced player. And so that's why this is okay. But here, I really want camp to just like slash across. And I want these guys to chill. Let's see what happens. So we have booty dump, and then camp actually does it this time. Oh my gosh. So he's like a little lazy on it, but essentially does what I'm saying. And look at that, free under. Right, because again, that break side wing defense is very lazy or poachy. And now that y'all have the disc in the middle, you can hit free unders. So that's cool. I think that's easier offense. I don't want to say it's better, but it's definitely easier. 9:38. Okay, this is just laziness, right? None of the cutters are set and the disc is tapped in. That should never happen. So cutters, just get back to your positions. That was just fucking lazy and terrible. And I don't know, let's see what happens. Right, at this point, like, Ethan shouldn't even be looking upfield. You're not going to hit anything. Right? No one's even really cutting. They're just jogging. Oh my god, we turn it. That's crazy. Anyways. 10:23. This note is attack the disc. So actually, like, great find by Phil. But the one thing that everyone who's playing against the zone has to realize is that these throws are going to take longer, and so you have to attack them. Like, the deep might have been caught off guard, but he still has a ton of time to catch up. And Nathan just sits and watches it. And because of that, gets run through deep. Very unfortunate. Attack the disc. Um, 153. Okay. So let's see what happens. All against zone. Swing. Right. What I want Tucci to be here and then be looking to get the disc here. But instead, he's basically playing. I feel like a lot of the wings they would almost get like sucked in as if there was some kind of like gravity around where most of the players are, and everyone would just scrunch in really close to the disc. But your job as a wing is to space out, right? You only come in when the disc gets to your side of the field for an easy swing. If Tucci had been playing here, where is he even playing? Yeah, like Tucci, he's basically playing as a popper. He should be like here, right? And look how he has no space. He's not spaced out at all, so he's already right next to his defender. So once we get this, he's never going to get the disc, but because he already has no separation. He literally took the separation away from himself and his defender. So we're never going to get this continue. Very unfortunate. And he like cuts deep off of it or something. That's never good because he's literally sandwiched between the deep and this wing defender. $12-12. Ooh, this was great. So this actually happened on the first point, but Ben dropped it. So when you're static starting, and by static starting I mean like tapping the disc in, right? So everyone is basically set up and everyone is still and not moving until the disc gets tapped in. It's really easy to surround the main cutters, or i.e. the poppers of the host stack, to the point where they can't get anything. Right? Because you have the break side wing playing off. You have these guys sitting under, and I think Ben's defender was also like scrunched in. I don't know what he was doing. Oh, he was here. He was also playing on top for no reason. And they kind of miscommunicate, right? So it's kind of a bracket. The two people playing under got distracted by these poppers, and then Ben just came in. And this is what happened on the first point too. So let's go back. Actually, let's watch this. Y'all need to learn how to deal with brackets, because otherwise, the offense will just stagnate. So let's see what happens. No. I'm gonna what? This is Vision by Chase. But also, yes, Ben drops the disc. Right, so look, it's the exact same defensive setup, except they're playing 3 under. Okay, this is like kind of terrible, honestly. But anyways, college teams will do dumb shit like this. Right, this guy isn't even facing Ben. And their priority is the poppers, right? Because those are the people closest to this, and those are the easiest throws. So they get, right, Camp goes in, this guy gets distracted, and Chase finds the open guy immediately, and Ben catches it. But just know, 12-12. Yeah, I just want y'all to be aware of like what brackets are, what they take away, and what they leave open. Right? They take away these easy throws, and they leave open the wider throws. This is a harder throw, right? There's more margin for error, but it's there. 13-30. Oop. Okay. There are 2 mistakes here, I think. Or 3 actually. So one, I think Ben started a bit close, and it looked like he didn't really have enough space to go, or he wasn't able to get his guy to bite hard enough on the upline, and the defender was too close on the booty. So foreside reset look doesn't work. That's fine. It happens. Camp then looks break side, which is correct. But my guess is that Chase also yelled at him, was called for the ball. I think he should pick one. And I would say default, stay within the system. You get 1 look foreside, 1 look break side. So maybe that's bad on Chase, trying to mess up the reset system. So let's say Camp does stick with Ethan here. This reset needs to be released from Camp's hand before Ethan crosses this plane, right? Because what happens is that he tries to throw this, and by then there's no space, and it's almost a turn. So again, especially when your break side reset is striking and they're running really fast, release it early, slow, floaty out to space, and let them run onto it. Because by then, if you wait too long and they end up here, by then the handler defender has already closed the buffer, and so they have no separation. Okay, 14-14. Oh, okay. So the note for this is that generally how vertstat works is there are three options: foreside under, deep, or break side under. And I think a good heuristic for playing against a vertstat is just assume that when one of the options is taken, the next option in that same stall count, I guess, is going to be different, right? So big brain move by Philip here would be to know that there are already two people that went under, and so the only other viable option you can reasonably assume is a deep cut. So that's just like, it's kind of next level defense. It's a little bit different than just basic like unga bunga man deny contest, right? But it's starting to incorporate game sense, field awareness, right? This guy's probably not going to cut here because there's already a person here. So what Philip could have done is recognize that and then got and started backing his guy. And I don't think, yeah, it was a overthrown, great effort by that guy, but easily could have been a score, right? Slightly better throw. They score in one throw, and that's always really demoralizing. So just some tricks to playing against vertstat because you're going to see it a lot. 14-45. Okay, yeah, Chase brought this up too. I think, Phil, you rely on your ability to throw 70 yards from kind of like a standing position too much. You don't really move the mark. Like, these cups are not anything special. This guy is not positioned to take away your rounds, right? Look how he's playing. He looks like an actual goober. His hands are up high for God knows what reason, and his feet are flat. He's like barely moving them. This is a breakable mark, in my opinion. And so instead of having to like huck it and then play defense again, trust yourself. Try breaking the mark. Try getting these for your rounds. Because I don't think these marks are anything special. I think they're easily breakable. If you need, yeah. Yeah. Break side, never a bad thing. Sometimes more valuable than moving it up the field, especially if you are a weaker thrower and, yeah, that lateral backhand is easier than maybe an open flick. So something we can definitely try to encourage and force at practice. Okay. Next note, 15-15. What is... Wait, did I fuck this up? Oh, I'm not sure. Anyways, another note about the arounds, and this is a little bit more for the cup, is that when playing against a cup, I want you all to keep in mind that it's okay to lose yards to get the cup moving. And that'll be one way to counteract it, because a lot of times we got trapped on this sideline and we have no choice but to boost it. Whereas I think if this guy goes back, so like let's, all right, Phil picks up. Oh, this was so sad. Okay, yeah, again, bad. Right, but let's see what maybe could have been done better. So I don't really know what Soren's doing. Maybe he's walking away. Maybe he wants to be this first reset look. But let's say he's just out of play. So BJ is the main look. What BJ can do is just run back here. Right? Again, lose yards to get the cup moving to open up all this space. Good cups will stop that. Or good marks will stop that straight back throw, especially in a zone. Bad marks will not, and I think y'all go against a lot of bad marks. So lose yards, move cup, break zones is the moral. 16-15. All right, Ethan, you're going to get picked on. Your positioning right here is why you get beat upline. So you're kind of just like facing him, but no part of you is ready to get in the lane, in this lane over here. You're almost like square to him, I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine, it's fine. I just wanted to, I don't know, I just find mistakes point out, but good to recognize it. Yeah, I actually think there's an interesting discussion around inside shoulder versus outside shoulder. Dump defense at the college level, but that's not for right now. We can talk about that later. 1922. So it's bad on chase. Those should be backhands. And again, so this was the first game of the day, and I want you all to know that you fixed a lot of mistakes that were made here. Not perfectly, but we did fix them. But I'm just going to pick on chase. No rounds. I don't know. It was probably like stall 7 at that point. There's no reason to be biting over here. Bad mark. 1954. So this note is Flick chases too hard break side and does not correct his orbit relative to the position of the disc on field, and then gets beat to the force side. So the flick, or the force is Flick, and he chases this guy. Like, this is, when we say chasing to the force side and getting beat force side, like, this is exactly it. This is just lazy defense. And the worst part about it is that he's not, Flick likes to poach, but he's not even like taking anything away here. He's poaching the lane behind the mark. That is unnecessary, right? Because the mark is taking away the space behind the mark. So yeah, I don't know. It's like unexcusable. Like he turns his back to his guy and he's like kind of watching. And if this guy was actually good at Frisbee, then he would have just gotten a free like 15-yard under. So just never bite as hard as he did to break side. It stopped, right? At this point, you stop. This is where the buffers. Crap. What day was it? Wednesday, Monday, whatever, of last week. Shelly said something about break side, you can have buffer. Force side, no buffer. Right? Here, it's okay to have the buffer. Right? But as your guy starts going back force side, you need to seal the buffer and orbit correctly. Flick should be over here. But now he's chasing to force side. Right? And you just can't play defense like this. You'll never catch up and you'll just get beat repeatedly. I don't think anything comes of it. They keep working up break side, but it's just bad. Especially since they were this close to the end zone too. I didn't even realize. So lazy defense by Flick. That's nothing new. 2016. Josh, do not cut straight at the mark. Cool. Okay. Yeah, and I mean this is like cutting at the mark, rounding your cuts. It's kind of all the same problem. Cutting in general was a really big problem this weekend, and it just slowed down the offense and made it so that they either had to swing weight more than they should, or Phillip just had to like boost it and then play defense. I think what I'm going to do is give you all like set patterns to follow so that there's no confusion. Everyone knows what everyone else is doing, and the cutters don't have to think about what path is best. They're just going to follow the path given, right? I think that'll go a long way helping. But what's one thing Josh can do better, right? I would say if you're going to make this cut, it goes straight this way. Is the guy in your way? Let's see. Yeah, he's in your way, right? I mean, he's playing defense correctly. I don't know. Find a way to get around him. Drive deep, come under, make like a 7 shape so you can run at an angle like 3-ish yards here, and then go straight across here. And then one thing that Nathan can do is run deep. So basic just starts in the middle of the field. Host stack initiation is force side, popper just runs straight deep, and then this guy goes under. And he can actually choose, right? If he thinks that the thrower is good enough to get a break throw or the mark is lazy, he can do the 7 drive force side, go break side, or drive break side, go force side. I think either are very viable. But yeah, there needs to be some kind of better initiation because there was no cut here. Nathan kind of jogs and then gets eaten up by the bracket, and then everything gets stuffed. That's not good. This was good though, until, yeah, anyways. That was actually really good, right? Booty dump into swing to break side wing. That's actually like our system. So good job on these guys to do that. 2217. What's the note? Chase, if your cutters are just jogging to the poach, don't look upfield anymore. Yeah, okay. So again, another great example of the host stack, of static starting and host stack being difficult because you just get surrounded by the defense, right? So I feel like Salsa and Camp didn't really know what to do with the bracket, and so they were just kind of half jogging. What I want to see here is wings stay chilly on the outside, and then handle, you get like one over the top look. This is a hard throw, right? So you're probably red light for it. But if you're a good thrower, you can like scuba all the way to the wing. That's viable. Otherwise, just swing the disc, right? And this is a good rule of thumb in Frisbee. If you're handling and people are poaching the lanes and you don't think your cutters have a good shot of getting the disc, then just swing, right? There's no need for you to hang on to the disc, and it's better to get things moving and try to break up the bracket or the lane poaches, because no one just sits in the lane forever, right? So start swinging, resetting, getting the disc moving is a good way to get around the kind of like tar pit that is lane poaching by the defense. Okay, this was a big one, and Chase also talked to me about it. This was especially prevalent on D-line, but it also happened on O-line, where it was a lot of like Phil and Soren and BJ too. But I think y'all need to recognize, so we made this, we were probably a little too dogmatic, right? Booty cut is broken. Always booty cut on foreside. Next level of Frisbee, right, is knowing when the booty cut is not good. And this is especially obvious in a zone where not only does the booty cut gain negative yards, but the cup doesn't even have to move. Right? Like why does Soren run backwards here instead of just staying in the middle of the field and opening this up? You just don't get anything out of this. So booty cut is really good, but only in like standard offense defense, right? And the reason the booty cut is good is because it sets up a swing to break side. There's no more break side left. And this was kind of a common theme, even when they weren't playing zone. When they were playing man, and Phil, you were stuck on the flat side. I hope you know what I mean by flat side, or break side, right? Where they're just flat marking you. It's a flick force, but on that side of the field, you're getting flat marked because of where you are. And y'all just kept booty cutting backward instead of trying to swing it to the middle. And the defense kept letting you have it. And that's because y'all keep doing that, and you just kept losing yards, right? So know when to swing to the middle. Know why we do the things we do, right? So again, booty cut is for setting up easy break side swings. If there's no more break side left, then there's no reason, or then the benefits of the booty cut are greatly diminished. And swinging to the field is actually really important, or to the middle of the field. Sorry, is really important. 25-19. Oh. Hit BJ, question mark. I don't know what was going on here, but this point is kind of scuffed. Yeah, he hits BJ here, but again, like, y'all keep like driving yourselves back, and it's fine in the sense that you're still on break side, so you still have all this field to work with, but you're not using it. Right, you have this option. You kept this option alive by continuing to booty cut, by continuing to reset on the break side, but you never actually utilize the option. And so, like, what's the point of having the option if you're not going to use it? And there you finally use it. So, like, good job. But again, a bad decision by the wing. If I had to guess, Juan was probably like sinking in. Oh, I'm not sure. Anyways, we'll work on the wing offense, but he should be like here, right? Draw this guy in, and then a popper should be in this space. So as Juan draws the wing over here and the cup is catching up, Soren gets a free throw to the middle because the poppers are there. Okay, that's all I had for film review. I encourage y'all to watch this game because there's a lot to learn from it. Any questions? All right. Cool. So next thing I'm going to do is just go over like my overall notes from the tournament. So I took a bunch of notes from after each game, or during each game and after, and this is kind of what I have. And this is also going to relate to like changes we make to practice. Again, we have 8 practices till sectionals, so it's really not a lot of time. So catching, everyone dropped to the point where like it didn't even matter if we were running our system perfectly because we just couldn't catch the disc. Yeah, you just can't play Frisbee if you can't catch the disc. So the action item for that is we were going to start doing a drill that I did back when I played college, which is we're going to have, I'm going to call it YAM drill. Some people call it go-to, but I think go-to to y'all means that one like break side throwing drill. So I'm going to call it yam drill. And yam drill is when you stand 20 yards away from someone and you run as fast as you can at them and they throw a disc at your face. And you either catch it or you get hit in the face. And it's very good at teaching you how to catch. Yay. Yam drill. This is going to suck, but I think it's going to help. Next item. We had a lot of trouble static starting on both sidelines. And what that ended up causing is a lot of Philip having to just boost it, or in some cases Chase boosting it, and then everyone just play defense again. And it's really like demoralizing, right? Turns are a really big deal. As you get like to higher level ultimate, turns are actually a huge deal. But in college, they don't feel like a big deal because they happen so often. And because oftentimes D-line offense is not as good as O-line offense, which is understandable, right? Y'all are on different lines for different reasons. But squandering these opportunities is just like heartbreaking. And what it does is it grinds your D-line down. Like I know BJ, I think he had to, he stopped playing early on Sunday, right? And he had to take a lot of hard matchups, right? Because again, he was one of the more experienced players, especially in the game against Rice. He had to take their best player, that tall, lanky dude with the headband. So he got some difficult tasks. But also, it's because D-line had trouble converting, right? Instead of being able to generate a turn, which y'all did pretty well, and then scoring and being able to, well, I guess you'd still go back and play defense. But instead of being able to get off the field, at least for a minute and a half, it was just boosted and then play defense again. And defense is so much more tiring. And y'all are shortening your stamina pool, your stamina reservoir, by being unable to convert breaks. So we're going to do a lot more like situational stuff where we static start on sidelines and practice just running the same stuff over and over and over again until it's like instinct. Okay. Too much booty dumping, right? I just went over this. Another reason that D-line offense got stalled is because there were a lot of booty dumping and not really respecting how useful it is to get the disc back to the middle of the field. So we're going to be adding around throws to 4-line. So y'all can really practice stepping out and throwing those slightly OI usually backhands, to a target about 10 to 15 yards away from you. I know we had trouble playing against the wall. We might do some practice against the wall. I'm not sure yet. So there's only one team, and we kind of figured it out toward the end. So maybe we practice against that. Refined cutting. Again, this is like teaching. My solution to this is just teaching cutting patterns, so that I don't have to yell at y'all about whose turn it is to cut, because I shouldn't have to do that. So we'll teach that better, and then refine swings and cutter timings against zone. I think this is really just like wing offense, and the handlers being a little more heads up and thinking about getting back to the middle of the field. Defense, the marks were really, really bad this weekend. So I don't know. I don't think there's like I don't think there's something that we can practice. This is very individual. There's no like real system in this. It's just you are the mark. It is literally one versus one, you versus the person who's throwing, and you just have to like internalize the know around and move your feet stuff. I have some drills for this, but I'm not sure how worth it is to spend time on those drills. Stopping give and goes. This is kind of like upline defense, but also a little field awareness, so we can talk about that. It's getting better to the cup. Yeah, that's more practice. One thing I do want to do is might be closer to sectionals is starting to introduce switching, which I think might help. And there's a specific drill that we did on Elo mode that at least for me really helped me to start understanding the concept of switching and how it works during a game. So that's what I have. Do you have any questions? Any feedback for me or Ben about what works for you at practice, what you would like us to work on, other things we can do in practice, just literally anything. Floor's open. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it'll be, and again, I think one of the reasons that Shelly might have been hesitant to teach and enforce exact cutting patterns is it's kind of a crutch, right? And it's not conducive, I think, to becoming like a better ultimate player, but I think it's a good way to start. So we'll try it. And I think it helped, right? The cutting looked a bit cleaner on Sunday when I just started kind of telling y'all what to do. Or at least like setting correct expectations for like where it was on the field and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes. All right. If no one has anything else, then Ben, stay on and we can talk logistic stuff. Everyone else is dismissed. I will see y'all on Monday.